Hey, I think we're live. All
Whoa,
right, cool.
trippy.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's going
Jeppy,
on?
Philip Channel, Austin Graham, Carlos S. Hey, Rayvon Cooper. What's going on? Um, so yeah, guys, hello.
Hi.
We are live on Go Mango. I'm your host, Frozen Stratos, and with me today is a very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend.
Hey all, I'm Matt Hunt at the Real Matt Hunt on Twitter. Um, that's me. You know who I am. I'm the most divisive person in the Toku fandom.
If you're going for news, you're going for this guy.
Sorry, I need my coffee. It's been a Sunday.
Hey, that's fair. Yeah, we are 20 minutes away from whatever's supposed to happen to the Zenkaiger site. It could be everything, it could be nothing, could be something in between. But before that, we have a ton of like leaked information and like rumors and stuff. And Matt, you have the floor. You know just about everything
We're
going in.
gonna run through it. I've been seeing a lot of misinformation circling around Twitter, like
Mm-hmm.
what's confirmed, what's not confirmed, and I just wanted to give a rundown of what we absolutely know and then what's rumored.
Right.
I'll go through the toy list, and then if you have any questions, you hit me with them, because
Well,
I'm sure the questions. You go
I
ahead.
have one comment so far
Yep,
from Rayvon Cooper who says, "Tell Matt that I love him."
I love him too.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so for the toy list, it's fairly uh standard,
Mhm.
especially for an anniversary season. But there is one interesting thing which I'll get to. First, we have a deluxe Zenkai Gatai Zenkai O Juragaon set. Everyone's seen the poster, I'm assuming, of Zenkaiger. Juragaon is going to be the combination between the red and yellow robots.
Mhm.
Red is Zenkai Juran, yellow is Zenkai Gaon. Juran is based on Daizujin from Ranger, and Gaon is based on Gao King from Gao Ranger. Um, Basically, every robot in the four can transform into another form. So it's assumed they're going to grow big and then transform into the mecha form.
Mhm.
So Juron can turn into a T Rex. Gallon can turn into a lion. If you're good at guessing, you can kind of assume what the others turn into. Um, but they combine, and it's going to be sort of a Common Rider double looking Gatai,
Mhm.
like Choryujin from Gao Gai Gar. So it'll be a left side and a right side. The left side is going to house the sound card for the robot. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so Juron and Vroon, who's the blue robot, are going to
right.
actually have built-in sound effects.
Mhm.
Um, we don't know yet if they work with the gears. It's assumed that they do, but the deluxe robots don't come with any gears. So they should
Oh.
be able to at least play sounds by themselves. Maybe they'll interact with gears going forward, but there's nothing in the package for the robots themselves. That's going to be 6,800 yen, so about $70
Mhm.
USD. It's releasing in March. Second, we have Zenkai Gatai Zenkaio through Majin set. Those are the other two robots, so blue and pink. They are based on Vroon is based on Dai Boken, so Bokenger, and Pink Majin is based on Magi King, so Magi Ranger. Um, they combine same deal. Vroon is the left side, and then Majin is the right side. The interesting thing with those two is they're fairly different in size, so I
Mhm.
want to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Juron and Gowon are pretty similar. If you look at them, they're basically the same design, just changed.
Mhm.
But the other two are kind of very different from each other. So those are the first two mechas that we have to deal with. Vrumajin comes out in April. It's the same price, 6,800 yen, also electronic. There will be a set released, which is all four robots. Those robots don't combine yet. I have information that says they will combine at some point. I'll get to that after we get through the toy list.
Okay.
Uh, but that pricing is 13,600 yen. So $150 around there. And that's also out in April. Then
Well,
we
like,
have the. Go ahead.
I checked last night,
Yep.
and the American dollar is actually weaker than the yen now, so it
We're
will
so
be
screwed.
more.
We're so
We are
screwed.
so screwed.
Great. I mean, so you can actually pre-order everything on Collectibles and a few other websites now.
Hmm.
I'm gonna get to why I think you're even thinking of getting these guys, but I'll get to that.
Sure.
But yeah, damn, we're kind of screwed. Um, the role play toys for this year are going to be the deluxe Henshin Gun Gear Tlinger. It's going to be like a Gatling gun sort of thing. So think a mix between the Gabu revolver from Kyoryuger and the the Kirame shot from Kiramager. It's going to look like a handgun, but with a revolver on
Hmm.
the front of it. You insert the gears. The Sentai gears are the collectible for this year. You insert the gears. We don't know exactly how the gears work yet. We just know that they go in the gun. They have
Okay.
sound effects that they activate. The gears are going to have the leader of each Sentai team on the front, a number to their left that represents the number season that Ranger represents, and then on the back there's going to be a symbol that alludes to the mecha of that season.
Oh, okay.
The gear slinger is 4,500 yen, pretty standard for a henshin device. 45 bucks, or $55 if the dollar stays that week. Um, one reason to get your pre-orders in a timely manner is just so that you know how much you're spending. But then we
Fair.
have the Zenkai buckle. Standard, if you've collected Sentai and Rider before, it's just the belt. It's the belt. It can store up to 6 gears, though. So that's
Oh.
pretty interesting. That's more than usual. I think the Ninin buckle from the Ninja maybe stored 3 or 4, but 6
Hmm.
is pretty significant. I mean, they seem to be a little smaller, like around that size.
Sure.
Um, but still, the buckle is going to come with 3 Sentai gears, and the Tlinger comes with 2. Like the robots, you can also buy them in a set if that's what you
Mhm.
prefer. The set will be around 7,000 yen. All that comes in March, and the set comes with all 5 gears that you get if you get them separately. The only
Oh,
gear that we know from that set is the Zenkaiger gear, which is the white one that we see on the poster.
hmm.
If I was a betting man, I would say that we get the first 5 core gears. So Zenkaiger, Magi Ranger, Bokenger, Jew Ranger, and Gal Ranger in that set. But at the same time, I think they might mix that up a little bit. We'll see. Then we have the Change Hero series, which is our
Hmm.
first action figure line for Super Sentai, deluxe action figure line for Super Sentai since Ninja. I
Yeah.
could be incorrect about that. As you brought up on the show, I think earlier, the size class is the same as the Yudo figures,
Yeah.
which is interesting, to say the least. It's interesting. You get all
Yeah.
5 Rangers. Something that crossed my mind actually earlier today when I was kind of preparing
Oh,
for the show. Uh, what would you say to the idea of them maybe releasing legacy versions, legacy Rangers for this collection? Because
I
that would be
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
it would, especially at that scale when we already have, some of them built up from previous Udo figures. And
Right,
on top of that,
right.
did you say it's all 5?
It's all 5.
Like in one
It's all
set,
5.
or they're all being released for
No, all
1,500
being
yen?
released. It's 1,500 yen. Yeah, it's not all 5. Yeah, it's all 5 are in the line for the first wave. But the thing is, they usually like to continue those throughout the year.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure
Okay.
we'll get like additional Rangers from this season
Yeah.
in that scale. But it would be interesting to me if they released like legacy Reds or legacy
Hmm.
characters that are going to show up in the show, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, those
Oh,
are 1,500. Go ahead.
I just wanted to catch up with the chat because we do have a few
Sure.
questions here.
Yep.
So Carlos S asks, what do you think about the mecha chest formations?
So the rumor, and it is rumor, I haven't gotten it
Mhm.
substantiated.
Okay.
The combined mecha are supposed to be the top half of one chest and the top half of the other robot's chest, sort of
Hmm.
meeting together in like a V, like this, and kind of giving like an open mouth look, almost like Hishiryu Neptune from Ryu Soja.
Okay.
So it'll look have like teeth kind of going up like this. It'll be in the Sentai V. If you look at
Oh,
the
okay.
Yeah, if you look at the Zenkaiger blank Sentai gear, the symbol
Mhm.
has the V and it has these zigzag lines. I think it might actually reference that
Oh,
look
okay.
to it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be. So
Okay.
it sounds pretty involved compared to most Sentai transformations. But I think the reason for that is there's only two mechas coming together versus three or five, so there's less
Right.
to account for.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's an interesting question, and it gets even more interesting when you consider there's electronics involved and the possibility of combining
Right.
all the robots together down the line. The Change Hero series also transform; they just don't combine. So
Oh,
we don't know what degree they transform. I'm assuming it's going to be a less uh, good looking transformation than
mhm.
the mecha themselves. I think they just put it in there to have an extra level of play.
Yeah.
But also, it's going to be really cool when you can pose those mecha forms in the Change Hero series against the Gatai robots. You kind of able to
Right.
represent everything at once without having to take apart
Right.
toys and that kind of thing. Um, that's that. And then the last deluxe toy we know about so far is the Sufubi figure for Zenkaiger. He's the only one getting one. So yeah, well, I mean it's interesting because Kirame Silver kind of got skunked on that this year.
Yeah.
And
Poor guy.
interestingly enough, Kirame Silver is becomes his own robot and grows giant. And we're thinking that that's what happens with the Zenkaiger this year. So I'm
Right.
wondering if it was kind of a test for him to not have a vinyl figure and see what his other merch would do.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, COVID happened,
Yeah.
so I think everything kind of got thrown out the window with
Fair.
that.
Yeah.
And then the only other things collectors would have to worry about, besides things like Super Mini Pla and Mini Pla, if
Right.
that's what you collect, we have Gashapon Sentai Gears and Candy Sentai Gears. We're gonna have a lot of them, and we're gonna be poor. They come out. The first two sets come out in March and April, respectively. So for both Candy and Gashapon, they're 300 yen a capsule. But because we're not in Japan, we're probably going to end up paying around $60 for a set. That's usually what I pay.
Okay.
Um,
Dang.
which sucks. I mean, yeah, maybe you can find them cheaper if you have like a connection somewhere. But just between shipping and having to buy, they have to buy the cases to
Mhm.
guarantee that you get all the pieces and the chase items and that kind of
Right.
thing. There's 7 gears that come with the Gashapon sets and six
Mhm.
that come with the candy sets. So we're talking there's a lot of gears.
Is
I'm
it
sure there'll be.
6 to 7 unique pieces like if you're buying a
It's
box, or is it
so
are you
it's
getting
no it's
multiple?
it's unique pieces. So unique
Oh,
to the set. I don't
okay.
know if there's any doubles from the deluxe.
Yeah.
So like we'll probably see like a Zenkaiger in the Gashapon set
Mhm.
and a Zenkaiger in the candy set, but it's
Right.
all original, and maybe we'll get some like metallic versions too, like they do with Rider sometimes.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's all we know right now. The interesting thing
Okay.
is there's no, at least for quarter 1,
Mhm.
there's no sets in the deluxe line of just Super Sentai gears. Everything that's a gear comes with a roleplay item.
Right.
So
Um, well, all right. We have 7 minutes until the
until Doomsday,
site, yeah, until the site goes live, but we have a bunch of questions, so
go
let's
ahead.
do
We can get through them.
let's do a lightning round. Well, one, hi, Ranger Liz, John
Hi,
Hendrick,
Liz.
Johnny Pearson, everybody. We have a question coming from Ephraim Jesse. I hope I got your name right. Will Zenkaiger have a sword weapon?
So not right now. My kind of going into rumor season, my strong opinion was that Zenkaiger wouldn't have a sword because Saber has 8,500 swords,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no reason for them to put another sword on the
Sure.
market to compete with themselves.
Yeah.
What usually happens if the main set of Rangers has a gun, the sixth Ranger will come with a sword, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's my expectation. I think maybe Ranger number 6 whether they be human or robot, will come in with a sword version of the gear slinger. And then maybe if they decide that they want to give personal weapons to the Rangers down the line, which is a possibility, then maybe somebody will get a sword there. But right now they don't. They just have the gun.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I'm so long-winded. I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, no
It's not
worries.
my fault.
I'm messaging Liz to see if she wants to hop on as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Next up we have. I'm sorry, that is a.
How do you? Oh, that's okay. It's in Hebrew, I think.
Oh,
How do
okay.
you think they? How do you think we'll change it to their mecha form? I'm assuming it's mecha form.
Mhm.
That the rest of that I don't know. The the mecha forms. So basically, the forms that you see in the poster are like their ranger forms, right? So just going by evidence of the filming leaks that we've had,
Mhm.
there will be like a pre-transformation robot form, like how in Q Ranger, Balance, and Raptor have their civilian forms and then they turn into Rangers. The poster is showing the Ranger forms. So those Ranger forms are also doubling as their mecha forms. So they're supposed to just grow giant and then they'll be in humanoid mecha forms, but then also turn into animals, or in the case of Rune, a dump truck.
Nice.
So it's a lot of modes of play, but they will have a civilian form.
Cool. Okay. Next up we have Ace Harmon, who says, "Will the Sentai gears be used as more than just transformation devices?"
So I think so, because we have 44 ish teams to get through, give or take one. And the rumors right now are that you can kind of combine two different Sendai teams via the
Mhm.
gears and kind of make a new attack or new forms. It's rumored, and this is a big rumor, that Zenkaiger himself is a fusion of Big One and Ranger's powers. So there's debate on whether he uses those gears to make his own gear or if he uses those two gears to attack.
Mhm.
Um, we'll see, but yeah, I think it'll be used more than transformation because we're going to get one for every team at least.
It would be interesting if, because that's supposed to be the gimmick of the year. It would be strange
Right.
if you didn't like load it into the changer and something physical would happen to the suit or something.
Has
So
to.
it'd be neat to
Has
see.
to.
Yeah. Or we could be wrong. Who
Could be
knows?
wrong. Could be completely
Yeah.
wrong.
Next comes from Peacemaker2448. Welcome in, buddy. I would assume at minimum we have 45 gears to go through. So
At
how much
minimum.
of that will end up on P Bandai possibly?
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
Just honestly speaking, because if you think about it, anytime again, this is if it sells well. If they sell well, we're probably going to get one for each ranger on every team. That's
Mhm.
just being honest, right? Like right now, it's supposed to be only the Red Ranger. But when the Sixth Ranger pops up, I doubt his stuff is going to have the Red Ranger on it. So he'll probably have either a different collectible or his teams will be represented by the Sixth. There's a lot of room for them to release more than just the 45.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely think so. And if
Unfortunately, because because I can only spend so much money on toys as we see behind me. Um,
Yeah. All right. We are about 2 minutes out. I think we might be able to fit in at least one more.
sure.
Um, I did want to say hello to Tommy Lulu, 5-year rumor, who is actually Lil Adam. Let's see. Yeah, I believe those are the only
That's a
new
great
ones.
name.
Oh, Buggo Productions TV. Liz can't make it because she has a 4-year-old being loud around her.
Yep.
That's unfortunate, but thank you for hopping into the chat. Let's see. Let's get one more. We're a minute out. Maybe we'll just how many seconds is that? Can you do a quick one about
Let's do it.
Oh, wait. Oh, I guess that's all the questions. What's this one?
Oh, well, perfect then.
Yeah.
Because we're at
Yeah.
almost 30.
Hey, there's Parasol in the chat. What's going on, man?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll just end it then with there's information that I have that Zenkaiger will get his own mecha. No details on what it is, but it should allow all 5 to combine into one robot.
Okay.
That's what I've heard. I can't offer any sources on that because it's a confidential kind of thing. And I don't know that I don't know 100% that it's true. It's just what I've heard.
Sure. Hey, what's up, Athotis? A fan from Brazil. Welcome in. John G, everybody. All right, it's time. Is it
It is up.
Looking. Can you give me a link?
Yep.
All right, let's see. Hopefully I can get this up on screen. Probably should have had this ready ahead of time, but we'll find.
There's the link for you. It doesn't seem like much more than the poster that we already have. There is a lot of information on it though, which I can kind of run through.
Okay.
We do have the premiere date.
All right.
So it is March 7th, 2021. Airing at 9:30. That's pretty much what we were thinking. Because Kira Major was very likely to end with 45 episodes. Right. So that seems like what's going to happen. Or actually, let me pull up my calendar. Maybe it's at 46. No. Yeah, the first week of March. That's the first Sunday of March, rather, is Zenkaiger. Let me see if I can just kind of speed this with my Japanese reading. 45th series. It's probably 45th anniversary series. It says Zenroku Zenkai, so full power, full throttle.
Okay.
2021 Super Sentai. I'll actually run this through a translator because just so that I don't give any misinformation.
Sure.
2020 Super Sentai, super innovative is what they're calling it. One human, and again, human is in quotes, so that's interesting. One human hero plus 4 robo heroes. All of the worlds, that's interesting.
Huh.
Subete no Sekai o Mamoru.
Oh.
Saikyo no Gonin ga Tanjo. So it's saying the strongest 5-member team is born to protect all of the worlds. That's interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Suini at last. So basically, it's unveiled, is what they're saying. That's very interesting language, and also matches the kanji that they're going with for Zenkai, which is all worlds.
Right.
Let's see. Wow, that is a lot of words.
they're taking the decade approach and just pretending all of them are on separate worlds, except for sometimes when they're not.
So there maybe, or it's trying to assert that they're going to have different rangers from different worlds, like new rangers from different worlds.
Okay.
And like the Earth is just one of many worlds that has rangers on it, which is a Power Rangers kind of approach.
Sure.
Let's see. So starting on March 7th, 2021, Super Sentai series Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. 1975 is when Go Rangers started, and from then it is 45 works, which is celebrating the anniversary. This Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger, and I apologize to everybody for my rough translation right now. I can make it sound prettier later. This Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger wa one human hero, robot heroes. Shuyaku, lead part to. So the main characters are one human hero and 4 robots. This is not something that we've ever had before, so it's an innovative idea. And basically the world setting is going to be them basically saying, is this proving that this kind of team is also should be considered a Super Sentai? So that's kind of what they're going into. Like, even though that it's 1 human and 4 robots, they're still a Sentai.
Right.
So that's an interesting tact. Zenroku Zenkai no Hiro.
So there's like predicted that people would get a little upset that there's no actual. Yeah.
So it's pretty general Sentai stuff. It's saying that they're full power, full throttle heroes
Hmm.
that are going up against a great evil, uh, and that they're gonna see this is saying Kono Sekai o Mamoru, so they're still saying that Earth is one Earth,
Hmm.
which is interesting. So they're saying they're going to protect this world. So,
So I'm seeing text here under the first bullet point that's saying something like the first to stand up to protect the world from evil,
Yep.
Zenkaiser. Is that Zenkaiser will stand up to protect the world, or Zenkaiser is evil?
Let me see, because I'm not caught up with you yet.
Fair. Yeah,
Sorry.
Google Translate does some strange stuff on this.
Yeah. It's gonna. It's I'm going through just the regular translator. I'm going bullet point by bullet point, basically.
Gotcha.
Saibo no Atara no Super Sentai series no Jo Shosai Hapyo. Oh, okay. So we're presenting the details today, basically. 45 of the Super Sentai Chief Ningen here, right. They're repeating a lot that human plus robo thing, so they
Yeah.
really want to hammer that in. Um
Mm.
okay. So there will be parallel worlds.
Okay.
But it doesn't say if it's parallel worlds that is like each world is a Sentai world. It's just saying there's parallel worlds.
Okay.
このようにたくさん存在する平行世界。平行世界 is parallel worlds. すべ
Okay.
て示唆する的に。
How's the
So,
chat doing?
from what I'm sorry, I'm going off of my
Oh,
reading
no worries.
Japanese. It sounds like to me that the team is from separate worlds,
Oh,
and they've teamed up to fight whatever this evil is.
okay.
Um, so obviously the human character is probably from our world, but
Mhm.
that's what it sounds like to me. Totemo na extravagant giant yami no te no mano te ga shujinko ga sumu sekai ni mo その時正義の心を持った自分 So Zenkaiser is basically, I guess, in his world. So maybe it isn't our Earth. Maybe it's like Q Ranger, where it's another Earth. His
Mhm.
world is basically controlled by evil,
Okay.
and he's the one person who's standing up
Oh.
to fight evil.
Mm.
And then the four robots are known as Kikai Seimetai, so machine living beings, basically, like Transformers.
Okay.
So Hansaku Yeah, they love this one human, four robots. I think we're going to be seeing that a lot.
I'm sure that'll be the first line of the trailer.
Yep, and then okay, so then they're breaking down basically that the five of them are based on earlier Super Sentai designs. Um, obviously, Zenkaiser they're saying is based on Aka Ranger from Go Ranger,
Right.
and then the Robo Heroes are based on uh, other Sentai as well. Zenkai Juron is Ju Ranger, and Daizujin is what he was based on. Uh, Gaon is based on Gao King from Gao Ranger. Majin is based on Magic King from Magi Ranger, and then Vroon is based on Daiboken from Bokenger.
Nice.
Super Sentai Kara Okay, this part I'm not sure if they're speaking why they chose the designs or if in the show it's actually this, but it says from past Super Sentai these powers were chosen
Mhm.
um, to birth these heroes. So I'm not sure if it's saying like we designed it this way because we thought that these were powerful designs, or in the show actually these
Oh.
powers, Super Sentai powers, are being chosen because they are the ones that are available. I guess. Yeah, that's it's one of those two
Yeah.
things. But it's saying those that Zenroku Zenkaiya, so that's also going to probably be a key phrase for this year. Attention point, Robohiro no Kyodai ka. Oh, here we go. So growing large. Zengen Robo ga katsuyaku suru iyoku saku honsaku
Ace Harmon is asking,
Yep.
when do you guys think we'll get a trailer?
Probably at the press conference. So January, middle of January is usually when that has happened the last few years. Maybe in a couple of weeks at the end of year major too, but I'm thinking around sometime after New Year's.
Okay.
So the robots do grow to giant size. That's what this is saying. Yeah, it's saying basically, it doesn't use these terms, but basically it's going to work like Ultraman. So they fight in these forms, and then they grow, and they're not changed; they just grow like that.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just going through. It's a lot of flavor text.
Yeah, it's pretty dense.
Yeah. They're saying the reason for doing this is they wanted to break the trend of always ending the show on a robot fight. Yeah, so like
technicality. If you make your characters the robot, it's always technically a robot fight.
Right, exactly. So what they're saying is here is that they can now do ground battles without, they can finish the show on ground battles because basically it's the same thing.
Oh, right? Okay.
So that's interesting.
I like that.
That's interesting. Now it's talking about the Gear Slinger.
Cool.
Gear Slinger. So important items: Gear Slinger and Sentai Gear.
This is where we find out how much money we're spending.
Yeah, no, hopefully. So those are the devices they use to stand against evil. And if you're a Super Sentai fan, this is what you're interested in, is what the actual text says. Zenkaiger no Cho. I don't think Drinker. So it can be used for transformation and attacks.
There's a new picture floating around.
Oh, is there?
I'm gonna save it and
maybe it's from the Toei site.
It might be,
because I don't see anything here.
Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Let me see if I can.
And I'll read through this.
Sure. Yeah.
Right now. So this is confirmed now. The robots can use the Gear Slinger when they're giant as well.
Cool.
So they'll have those guns in giant form as well. And there we go. That's confirmed too. So the Gear Slinger can join together different Super Sentai powers.
Oh, okay. Join in what way? Did they just say join?
It just says the terminology is condensation. Like condensation of ideas or like vapor, like that kind of condensation. Sure. So basically, it sounds like those rumors are correct. Zenkaiger will have the Aqua Ranger big one gears and maybe use them as an attack.
I have the
the picture.
The image up on screen.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, this looks pretty great. I mean, we've seen this all before, but
yeah, but you know what? This is a better look at their actual size. They're not that bulky.
They aren't. No. I will say, you said it earlier, but red and yellow are almost exactly the same.
Yeah. So basically, how the combination is supposed to work, they're basically facing each other, and that's basically the combination. Is what it was told to me.
Oh.
So like the top mouths are going to go up.
Uh-huh.
And that's they're gonna like stick together. Is how the Gatai is supposed to look.
Okay.
But Majin is definitely smaller than Vroon, so that's really interesting. Let me
Mhm.
see if there's any other information. I mean, that's a pretty big one that they can combine Sentai powers.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. これらのアイテムが戦いとどんな効果を期するのか。So basically, they're saying we're gonna have to wait till the show airs to see what that actually means, like what kind of
Oh.
effectiveness combining two Super Sentai powers is. It might actually be more than two. It doesn't specify a number. 正義の俺たちの人の人間をこの世界を守るが力の力は Okay, it's just repeating that this one human and the four robots are using their fiery resolve, basically. The same thing that they say
Mhm.
for all Super Sentai to protect the world. Okay, now they're going into the movie, which comes out on the 20th. It's not this 7. It's just being called right now Zenkaiger the movie.
Mhm. We
That we knew
have.
already.
I don't know
Yeah,
if it's
that's
on this site or not, but we have a someone put up producer, series composition, and whatnot. I don't know who this is. At
that might be in the toy side.
Shushuriko.
I mean, that's the other thing I didn't mention. Shirakuro was confirmed as producer at the toy meeting, but if there's other staff, I can go through it. Maybe it's the Toei website that this is coming from.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's see what Toei has to offer.
It's definitely not on the Asahi website, which is interesting
Yeah, yeah.
because they said, "Oh no, Toei website's not up yet." So where are people
No?
getting?
Okay. I have no idea. Oh, wait. What's this? Are these the same points? Yeah. Oh.
Oh wait, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, I see it.
That's where it's from, the Toei website.
Yeah. So let's see. Staff producers. We have Chichiro Inoue, Shinichiro Shikura.
Shirakura. Yep.
Yeah. Naomi Takebe.
Yep.
Koichi Yada.
Yep.
Akihiro Fukada for advertising. Okay. So those two are for advertising. Let's see.
Interesting.
What does original mean?
Basically, it'll say the. Would you like me to translate these just so we?
Yeah, please, absolutely.
Sure. Sorry, I hate. Just a personal opinion. I hate the new look for Toei's websites. I really do. I miss the old ones because it's very weird, and I get that they're trying to go for like a trendy, clean look, but
yeah, man, really calling Toei out.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so Inoue is the producer from TV Asahi, which that hasn't really changed. Shirakura is for Toei, and Takebe is for Toei. Shirakura, this is the first Super Sentai he's worked on since Die Ranger. If you're excluding like other shows like Akiba Ranger and I think he worked on Akiba Ranger. He definitely worked on Kyoryuger Brave, but he's usually worked on on Kamen Rider. Excuse me. Yata Koichi is Toei Agency, and Fukada is Toei Agency. So a lot of this is the standard stuff. So the producer is Shirakura with Takebe. So it's giving special. Oh, that's just special credit to Ishinomori and Yatsude Saburo, which isn't a real person.
The Zenkaiger Twitter is up now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it says who the writer is. Let me just.
Gotcha.
Get that. That makes sense because people had to be pulling stuff from somewhere.
Yeah, I was wondering. Let me copy this.
That's very interesting.
What's up?
It's saying it's giving a main writer, but it's also saying others. So it sounds like to
Oh,
me there isn't one main writer.
okay, cool.
Junko Kimura is the main writer.
Mhm.
So that is, Ghostbusters, right? Which would make sense.
I'm not 100% sure. I do like the
no,
idea that like there may be a rotating door of
it
writers and
sounds
stuff
like
for
that.
this.
It sounds like that
Yeah.
as well as directors. Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, she did Juoja, is what I was thinking of. But
Okay. Hey, I
yeah,
like
she
you,
did.
Ogre, so
I do too. Yeah.
yeah.
So she was the main writer on Lupat, main writer on Juoja. She did Akiba. There's a lot of Akiba Ranger staff on the show. She did a lot of Gokaiger, which people tend to forget.
Mhm.
And she did some Goseiger, and she worked on Goranger versus Geki Ranger, and she worked on Goranger. So that's
So
pretty cool.
So what you're telling me is if we make fun of a show enough, eventually we'll end up being producing said show.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
so keep dunking on Sentai for a while, and soon it'll be your turn.
there you go. Let's see who else is on this posted staff. But again, it sounds like they're not really saying that it's one person, and it's very interesting to me because
Yeah.
let's see, that's director. So they're saying one of the standard Sentai directors is the director. That's not too interesting.
Okay. That's fine.
Action director. Let's see who that is.
Hey, we got Alex Cinder Blaze here saying it looks like that characters are going to be really strong. So even if the plot's garbage, it could be really enjoyable. I'm down for that.
I wouldn't expect too much plot.
Same.
Personally, because we're basically probably going to get another Gokaiger with returning legacy guests. And that's going to take the importance. I mean, hopefully it lets them still put together a story.
Yeah.
But like Shirakura, he did Geo, and you know what Geo was, right? Like Geo was.
Oh no.
But Geo sold a lot of money, and it had a lot of great.
Yeah.
It had a lot of great character returns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that they did Agito and Geo was great. So
yeah,
we're gonna get that. It really depends on how much the writers can sort of pull together. Let me see if the Twitter has anything that we missed here. Again, we didn't get a lot, but we did get
post so far.
Okay, I do like that picture a lot though on the toy site.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let me see if we can. Let's see. Yeah, this is a lot better representation of them than the poster. Because you can't really tell their size in the poster.
Right.
Let's see.
Let's see. I can bring that photo back up again.
I'm probably stealing that Twitter banner from them.
Isn't that one the same as just?
It's the poster, but they actually edited it.
Oh, did they? Okay.
So that it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, fair.
Let's see. I mean, the emojis that they used are really, really funny.
Yeah.
On the Twitter. It's a gear, a Tyrannosaurus, a lion, a crystal ball, and a pickaxe, which is just so fun. Yeah, not a lot of information, but it looks really, really good. So
I was really hoping to get more information about the Geertlinger stuff, but I'm excited to know that hey, they're actually going to start saving stuff for us to like discover in the show.
Yeah, I mean we are gonna get like I said, magazine leaks tomorrow.
True.
My gut feeling is we'll probably only see maybe the Geertlinger,
Mm-hmm.
if that. Maybe some like really really teaser shots of Mecha, but that's really about it.
Sure.
No, they look good. I mean,
Yeah.
so going back to what I said before, I would get pre-orders in. The rumor uh, that I read, and it's a rumor, so take it as a rumor, is
Mm-hmm.
that because of the way Kira Major sold, the deluxe robots are going to have less production,
Oh.
like toy production. Again, it's a
Yeah.
rumor,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it makes sense because of how Sentai has been selling.
Sure.
Um, it's not like a doomsday scenario, which some people are going to like try and make it sound. It's just they don't
Mm-hmm.
want leftover stock
Yeah.
because then they just have leftover stock. There's no reason to have leftover stock. So maybe we'll see less. These might be rarer than
Mm-hmm.
past Super Sentai toys. And I would
So
just get
what?
on your pre-orders if you want them.
So what you're saying is for Cure Major right now, if you wait long enough, they're going to be on clearance soon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are. I mean, Kira Mage is weird because I love the toys,
Yeah.
but there's a lot lacking from them. Like they're beautiful
Sure. Yeah.
toys, but they could have been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're asking for electronics and LEDs, just like asking for them, almost
Mm-hmm.
designed to have them really. And they're actually
Yeah.
more expensive than the Ryu Soldier toys, and they're
Oh.
more expensive. They're more expensive than the Zenkaiger toys, which have electronics,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't, and they're smaller. So it's a really weird combination of things that I understand why people didn't go all in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that changes for Zenkaiger because I think it's designed to sell toys. Very
Oh,
obviously.
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, any Sentai is, but this is very much like here are the robot toys.
Yeah.
Please buy them.
Like
Um,
every 5 years, Toei's like, all right, we're gonna cash in on this anniversary stuff.
yep, yep.
Uh,
Just some other stuff that I've noticed looking at these suits now for the past few days without any sleep. Uh,
mhm.
red and yellow, Gowon and Juron, red and yellow, have fists as their feet.
Oh,
They're hidden fists. So you see the black portion of their feet between the red and yellow and the silver.
let's
It's
see.
two fingers. So if you join both feet together,
Oh,
it's a giant fist.
oh. Well, look at
These are
that.
the things. These are the things that I do so that all of you can. Uh, Basically, the rumor right now, and again, it is a rumor, but it's just something that I have heard uh, that Zenkaiser's Mecha is going to be the core of a giant combination.
Mhm.
This would support that because it would mean that red is one arm and yellow is another arm.
Sure.
I don't know how Majin and Rune would fit into that because their sizes are very different.
Mhm.
Um, but then they could just make them the two legs. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
We don't know what the toys look like yet, so like the Majin's wings could be formed differently in the toy. Like it could be blockier to
Sure.
match Rune's overall look. But yeah, I mean, what is your take right now of the minimal
I
information that
mean,
we have?
they're really leaving a lot on the table, and if anything, I'm really excited to not know as much and just
Yeah,
be surprised by a show, especially a Toku one, because
yeah,
you know even if we don't know something, it's always on Twitter. But if there's
right.
always going to be a surprise, I don't know. I'm looking forward to something like this.
So
Um,
I'm in agreement. I also think they're handling it better this year than they did with Kira Major. Kira
mhm.
Major, basically, they didn't say anything
Oh,
until the magazine scans leaked,
mhm.
and then even then, they didn't say anything until the press conference. So
Yeah,
basically, they just didn't explain anything. Like we got a few promotional images, but they left everything really, really, really unclear.
Hmm.
I think that ended up contributing to the low sales. By the time
Hmm.
we got to, and obviously COVID had a big impact as well.
Sure.
Um, but like Gigant Driller, I think toy shops knew about it a week before it was announced, a week before
Hmm.
it was released. So it was announced like a week before street date. So people were like scrambling to get orders in, which means that you know buyers that were coming into the stores probably didn't know about it because you have to
Hmm.
remember not everybody who buys Super Sentai toys is like us. A lot
Right.
of it is parents. So if there's no commercials or if there's no ads in papers and stuff, and they're just
Hmm.
finding out about the toy from the TV show, it does affect the toy sales.
Right.
You're going to delay people buying it, or people are just not going to be interested because they don't know about it.
Hmm.
Um, and then they're not going to buy it probably until Christmas markdowns. So that's also contributing to like overstock.
Hmm.
Um, so I think this is a good balance. They've released now two official images in
Hmm.
fairly high quality. It's a better look at the suits than leaks are. And then we also got, that one leak, but it wasn't really their fault. That one magazine who
Right.
probably doesn't know how Twitter works and hid the picture in their Twitter and didn't actually crop the picture. So
Right.
that's not really on Toei or Bandai. That's kind of on their third party
Hmm.
people. I don't know. Do you see anything else in the suits themselves that is interesting?
Um.
They look
Well,
to me they look more
someone.
Ranger like here than they did in the other picture.
I don't know. I still think they look very mecha. Like.
They're robots for sure, but the like for instance, Vroon here, his helmet looks
Mhm.
rounder than it did in the other picture for some
Sure.
reason.
Sure.
And Gowan too. That you could see that the base of the head is still that Ranger helmet look. Um,
Right.
but yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Uh, well, speaking of like what we can glean from this image, Carlos S is asking, also, guys, what do you think about the odd symbols on the shoulders of the bots, chest pieces, or shields, or a key card?
Oh yeah, I see what he's talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of part of the combination.
Hmm.
So like the again, Juron and Gallon are going to mirror each other and kind of stick together, right?
Right, right.
So it should be that the actual that symbol that they're talking about,
Hmm.
which you can't really see it from this picture, but if you go to the poster, you can kind of see on his Juron's left shoulder, there's like a Tyrannosaurus head.
Sure, let me bring that up real quick. Um, let's see. There we go. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So theoretically, if the chest if the chest of the Gatai is going to be the two heads kind of like this, that would maybe
Hmm.
be like shoulder armor on here, kind of going off. So you have a Tyrannosaurus symbol on this side, and
Hmm.
then a lion symbol on this side. Um,
Okay.
that's gonna be something that we need to see the toys, I think, to really
Yeah.
understand what they're going for. Also, something that I can't really even grasp is the animal forms that they're going to take because I can't see how they transform into them.
Same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Like
like
I can see the parts. Like I can see like Tyrannosaurus is probably easy because
Mhm.
it's basically standing up already. You just have to kind of slouch it down. I can't
Yeah.
see how Gallon turns into a lion, other than the lion head and the claws. Um,
Yeah. It
yeah,
it could. I mean, that might be the reason why we're getting like multiple releases. One that transforms specifically into this, one that does
yeah,
everything. You know.
yeah,
Um.
yeah. I mean, again, I think they get a better. They look more mobile in the new picture.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, like the when the poster came out, it was like I really feel bad for the suit actors.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad for the suit actors, but I can also see where they'd be able to have them move around and stuff.
Sure, sure.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything else interesting. Majin is really hard to see where the transformation would come. I mean, she has the dragon wings. That much is
Yeah.
obvious. But I mean, is her head also the dragon head? Maybe.
It could be. Yeah, if she like ducked down and then there was just a dragon on her head, I could see it.
Kind of flip down this way, and we're
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
seeing like her face is like a top view of the head, maybe. But then
Mhm.
that would impact the combination because again, they're supposed to have the same left right combination as red and yellow.
Right. I mean, it could be a situation where she fills out less and
Yeah, true.
something extra turns out from the blue one, just
Yep,
because he's bigger.
yep. No, absolutely. His again, the designs are just really interesting.
Mhm.
It's weird because if you look at Gowan and Giron, it's almost Transformer-ish and
Sure.
like Brave Robot-ish. And Vroon also looks like a Transformer, but a very specific one. Vroon and Majin almost look more futuristic to me. Like
Hmm.
there's more details. And now with the information that there's going to be multiple worlds, I'm wondering do
Right.
Gowon and Juron come from the same planet? Do they come from the
Oh,
same planet? Like, is that why they can combine with each other? There's a lot going through my brain right now.
right.
Like,
I am
like
wondering, like, what the implication is if potentially each Sentai gear, like each gear, is connected to one of these guys. It would be
right.
cool lore wise if technically you could have one mecha per show.
Yeah, absolutely would. My thought right now is basically they're gonna give Zenkaiser the Aqua Ranger and Big One gears, whether or not they
Right.
contribute to his powers.
Mhm.
I think they don't have robots in their show, so
Oh,
right.
okay, I
So
see.
so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
gets he's the only human thematically
Right.
that's workable. I think when his mecha shows up, it might be an airship. That's the rumor right now to kind
Mhm.
of pay homage to them.
Right.
But the other bit of information that I have is that his mecha is not based on an older mecha. So whatever his mecha ends up being, it's going to be something that is Zenkaiser
Mhm.
related, even if it looks like something that could come out of Go Ranger or Jacker. Versus
Are
the other four who are very obviously based on older mecha.
mhm. Are there any other series that don't have mechs?
So the no, there's those are the only two where
Mhm.
they don't have a robot. They do have mechs, but they just don't have robot forms, right? It's
Okay.
so the there that's back when Super Sentai wasn't a thing yet.
Mhm.
It was just Go Ranger and Jacker, and then a couple other random shows. And
Right,
then
right.
when Battle Fever J came around, it became Super Sentai.
Mhm.
Um, I'm wondering a lot of things for the show. I'm wondering with the parallel worlds. They're the Kikai Sentai, right? So that means machine
Yeah.
world. Are
Okay.
they all from the machine world? Is that what the deal is? Um, is red? I'm going to call him red all year long. Zenkaiser is white, but it's hard
Yeah.
to break that trend of red as the leader.
Mhm.
He is white. His gear is white. We have a Red Ranger on the team.
Mhm.
Is Zenkaiser a human from our world, or is he a human from this machine world? That's another big
That
question.
might lend credence to why he's the only one that stood up against,
Yeah,
whatever evil force it is. Did we have
right.
a name on that, or is it just evil as a
Kyodaina.
construct?
It was they call it the large evil in
The large evil. Okay.
very unpretty translation. Yeah,
Yeah,
great
yeah.
evil is probably a better translation for it. Um, I'm interested to see. I mean, there's a lot swirling around rumor wise of characters that are coming back. Stinger's actor from Q Ranger today posted a very random shot of himself as Stinger.
Oh, okay.
Is it a new picture or is it an old picture? It's very hard to tell. It's Stinger in his robe.
Okay.
His cloak, his Jedi cloak, not his commander robe.
Right, right.
Um, there's
Oh, that's
that. There's
strange.
That's very strange. There's especially to randomly post for no reason on
Yeah.
the 20th of December. Um,
Mhm.
there's a kind of not really a rumor. Somebody saw
Oh,
Vasco and Sally filming something.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, I saw that you'd posted that, and I was wondering, like, what is the context with that?
right,
Was
because
it
that's
at
very
a
interesting.
mall, you said?
It was in a shopping arcade, so an outdoor mall.
Mhm.
The
Whoa, whoa,
context.
hold on.
Did we get something?
Just got something from cinematoday.jp. I think
Oh, they
it
always have
has.
good things.
Yeah, I think it has. Let me send you this link. The date
They
for the
always have good
press
stuff.
conference. Um,
That would make sense.
this could be a translation error, so I'm gonna wait on you to give me full confirmation. But I'm
Let us
seeing
see.
January 15th, 2021.
That would make sense to me.
Yeah. And then a lot of stuff that we've already
There's
talked
that
about. Oh,
poster again.
it will be unveiled in the movie Sentai Zenkaiger, the movie released on February 2021.
Yep, yep. So
February
that's
20th. Okay.
yeah, that's the movie release date.
Okay.
Uh, I don't. Where are you seeing that January date?
It is, I want to say, like the third paragraph.
Nation that they don't have human forms, but I would strongly say here's my thought. My thought right
Mhm.
now is if any one of them has a human form, it would probably be Majin,
Uh-huh.
and that's because Sentai's been very, very on this whole we need to use the female actresses to sell the show.
Sure.
Female actresses to sell the show. Um, you know, Kira Major has 3 Gravier
Hmm.
adjacent actresses. I
Hmm.
wouldn't be surprised if the boys had like a civilian robot form, which is the belief right now, and
Hmm.
then she has like a cyborg looking form, so they could stick an
Okay.
actress in that suit. Um, and
You
again,
know,
it's interesting because they keep saying human for Zenkaiser and
mhm.
robot for the other 4. So why are they using quotes? Is my question.
I don't know. I wonder if it's like an emphasis thing.
It could be, but I'm curious. Like
Yeah.
he's the suit for Zenkaiser, while it's very much Aqua Ranger, the
Mhm.
coloration also reminds me of Kashern.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
you know what? I see it. I see
and
it.
and that's a show about a post-apocalyptic
Oh,
world
wow.
where he's the human and
Okay.
his friends are robots. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
is he like half? Is he an android? Like, is that why they're saying human? And are they
Hmm.
also kind of not 100% robots, but they're mostly
Sure.
robotic? There's a lot of room, I think,
Hmm.
uh for them to go there. Let me
Yeah.
see.
I mean, I also think these have the potential to come back, even after this show, much like
Yeah.
Momo and all of them.
Oh yeah.
Like, this
If
is
these are
definitely a good setup for something like
this
that.
might be our Sentai Deno,
Yeah.
basically, right? Like if
I think
these characters are the kind of characters that Japanese fans eat up. So
yeah.
that's neither here nor there. I mean, I think you're fully for people who don't like these designs. I think they have a very valid reason not to
Sure.
like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
designs or directions, but there's no one who should be debating whether or not these are popular or potentially popular things for a Japanese
Yeah.
audience because
Like, it is directly marketed to the audience that
yeah,
likes,
yeah.
something like this.
What I find also interesting, and we brought it up before, they keep calling them, and maybe this is why they're doing quotes for robot. They're
Mhm.
calling them machine life forms. So again, like
Okay.
Transformers are robots, but they're also a race of robots. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not maybe these are actually like we said before. they're from a planet of robots versus being a robot that you build,
Right.
right? And the
Right.
other
Right.
thing, because before we knew that they had some kind of civilian form, my assumption is that the reason that they look like the series that they're based on is because these are their transformed forms, and
Hmm.
the gear has actually changed their physiology to look like Gao
Oh,
King, to look like Daizujin. I don't think their base form is going to look like this. I think it's going to be very different.
that I like that because we haven't gotten like what was the one? Was it Changeman where like their suits got imbued with color at some point?
Turbo Ranger?
Turbo Ranger. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like the idea of, you know, something physically changing to whatever base property there already is.
right. So my thought is that, and again, this is just me spitting basically off of what Gokaiger did.
Mhm.
I have a feeling that the Zenkaiger team was meant to be 5 humans, and for some reason or another, there's only one human left to use the powers, and so
Oh,
he has to go get whoever he can find. And
sure.
while he turns into a ranger when he transforms, because they're robots, they don't turn into
Oh,
rangers; they turn into robot rangers.
right. So that
That would
is
be my
how
guess.
that power is filtered through that type of life form.
Right, right. Which
I
helps
like that.
explain the lore a little bit because if they
Mhm.
just happen to look like older Sentai robots, it would be a little weird. But if they're
Yeah.
physically getting the like if they're getting the powers of Magi Ranger
Mhm.
or copying the powers of Magi Ranger,
Mhm.
and that's why she looks like Magi King because she's powered by Magi King's powers. Then
Right.
that
Right.
kind of leads a little bit more story into it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm a big Sentai toy collector. This show
Mhm.
is basically like shoving the toys in your face, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with that.
Absolutely.
You know,
Um.
I don't mind when Sentai does that. I get like people like it to not be a toy commercial.
Mhm.
I love when the show is also good. Like Kira Major is a great
Yeah.
show. It's
Yeah. I agree.
consistently
I
good,
agree.
right?
Yeah.
But at the same
Absolutely.
time, it doesn't use it's not using that vehicle effectively to sell merchandise. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
if we can get the same level of good that Kira Major's been bringing,
Mhm.
but also we can promote toys, I think it's a best of both worlds. And again, they're saying that the writers' room is going to be more than just one person. So maybe Arakawa is sticking around from Kira Major,
Mhm.
but he won't be full time. He'll just
I'll
be like a
take
couple
it.
episodes here and there, you know?
Yeah. If they wanted like just a filler episode to flesh something out, hell
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Like
And again, I mean, Junko, like I said, I like Juoger. I like Lupat too. The problem with Lupat for me is the characters are amazing and the story goes nowhere. Like, there's no, the characters are so good. So like I'm not even worried about the characters. I think these characters are going to be
yeah.
fantastic. If I'm concerned about anything, is the story going to be
Mhm.
going anywhere? At the same time, does it need to go anywhere if it's going to be Sentai guest, old villain shows up? Like, there does she might not have a lot of work to do if they're doing references
Yeah.
basically for the whole time.
Well, I mean,
Um,
typically what we get like 45-ish episodes if we
yep,
spend,
yep,
one on each, then
right. So I think
that
what that might also be what the combining the powers is about too.
Mhm.
Gokaiger had a really rough time putting in 34 Super Sentai.
Yeah.
This has to put in 44. So
Yeah.
maybe by combining the powers, they will actually combine uh the tribute
Mhm.
episodes too. So like, what if we see a Deca Ranger episode that also has Pat Ranger,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And you have an actor from Deca Ranger, an actor from Pat Ranger, and then
Mhm.
they combine those powers. I think we could see that too because that opens up a little bit of space for actual plot progression to happen.
I wonder. It could end up being just 15 that they need to gather if they go to Zenkaiger and just are like, hey, you got those keys still, right?
So I think without a doubt the Zenkaiger are going to show up. I don't think there's a question in anybody's mind. It was really telling that Yui Koike, who's Gokai Pink, made a whole big thing this year about not actually being retired, when the only thing she's ever done in her career really is Gokaiger. She's done some like a few other things, but basically she's known for Gokaiger, and she has no problem with it.
Right.
None of the Gokai actors do. They've gone on record saying like, we'll return to Gokaiger as many times as you want us to return to Gokaiger, as long as it makes sense for our schedules. So I think they're a lock. I think you'll probably see one or two Juoger in here. Just because, again, Yamato's actor, the world's actor, really that whole cast loves what they did, but they just kind of got screwed out of a team up, unfortunately.
They did, yeah.
And it wasn't really anybody's fault. I don't think we've ever heard like a clear story on that. I just know that there was a plan to do a team up, and they couldn't. So I think you'll see them. I think you'll see basically all of the anniversary teams show up in some way. I think you'll see every single every team that is represented by this core group. I think will show up. We'll probably see Aka Ranger. I'm expecting we'll see Aka Red, because at this point, why not?
Yeah.
You know, he's got to have his new 45 logo on him. I'm excited. I like the multiple world angle. I don't know what I feel about multiple Sentai worlds, if that's what they're going with, because I feel like it could be a little bit too much if that's what they're going.
Yeah, because like sometimes
I think there's
okay.
No, I'm sorry. No, like there's definite inconsistency that they can play with, because sometimes everything takes place in one world, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think if they're going in with a decade approach, it might get a little bit complicated. Decade worked the way that it did because there's usually only one or two common writers, maybe three. So you can kind of do alternate versions of them and explain their deal, and it won't be so complicated. But even then, some decade alternate worlds got really complicated trying to work in why these powers work this way in this world versus the original world. And then decade sort of played off the idea that the original worlds did exist just somewhere else in the universe.
Yeah.
Like in the multiverse. So it gets really wide scope. I would prefer if basically they do like somebody described this to me, actually the place that I got the information from for the original toy leaks, that the show is trying to do a monster tamer type thing. So like think Pokemon or Digimon or Monster Rancher, where we have one main human character, but the non-human characters are just as important. They're on his like team in like an RPG game, right? So the interesting thing there is that implicit in that is that we're going to meet other teams, right? Because the human character has to go up against other human characters if it's a monster tamer show. So with the idea of parallel worlds, are we going to get another human ranger in there with a team, maybe not robots but aliens, or a team with like we can kind of go, we can get an evil ranger whose team is monster rangers, basically. Like the possibilities kind of open up to be endless. I mean I think we need a black ranger to counter Zenkaiger.
Sure.
Would be really cool. I think we're gonna get. I would be surprised if we didn't get a ranger / mecha of every color this year.
Yeah. I mean, like that's what I'm gunning for because I really want to. I don't know. I like the look of these guys. I like the interesting lore aspect they bring to the table of you know
Yep.
having a mecha per show. It's just like an effigy of this show represented by a whole toy. You know,
Right.
um, and even if they don't get to all of them, it would be awesome to have, the ones that we get and potential for, other artists or something to think up their own. I
Yep.
think that's really cool.
I think another possibility for them to explore is also kind of what they did in Curated with the other Guardians,
Mhm.
where there were at one time all of these dinosaurs,
Oh
dinosaur
yeah,
mecha.
just the repaints.
Right, right, but they
Yeah,
they sort of like they died, and then
yeah.
uh, Brachio kind of imbues their power to come back to life in that show. I could see them
Mhm,
maybe doing a fourth quarter carrier mecha that's maybe like all the Showa Sentai
mhm.
in one robot, right? And it,
Right.
it kind of you can kind of maybe throw the gears into it.
Mhm.
I can see that happening. I would love for them to have like even if it's just in the lore of the show, seeing 44 different robots like this would be really really cool. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I and like you could it's an idea that works for future ideas as well because I'm just thinking from an artist's perspective like, oh hey, that means technically everything that comes after this would technically have a robot, so you could
Right.
make that yourself, you could design that yourself. I like it when they're able to set up a world and give it rules and not show just about everything or
Yep.
not show everything but just enough so that it gets you interested in the
For
lore that
sure.
it creates.
Yeah. I think this is a very good starting point. I'm very excited to
Yeah.
see what we get next. I will probably be up all night waiting for those scans.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
if nothing else, I want a clear shot at what these gears look like.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a better picture of them with the poster, but I really want to see
Mhm.
the detail.
Yeah. I wonder cuz those seem chunky enough to where you might be able to fit not lights or sounds but maybe like a chip in there like a reader or something
Yep,
because we don't quite know how they're mounted onto the gun yet either. So,
right. And the interesting thing is because we didn't get like sets of them in the deluxe line
mhm.
yet, we don't know the price, right? Like the
Yeah,
Gashapon and Candy ones will probably not have chips, but the deluxe ones definitely could,
definitely. Yeah,
right? And
I can see it.
it'd be interesting. I like when the sounds are in the collectible itself because it's resistant to people hacking the changer.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and that I like. I mean, I don't mind leaks. Anybody who follows me knows that I happily engage in leaks for these shows.
Mhm.
But if I can be prevented from doing so, I usually enjoy it. I enjoy the
Oh,
surprise.
yeah.
Um, so I prefer that. At the same time, I feel like that's not the case, and I feel like come March we're gonna know like all 100 sounds in the Gear Tlinger,
Mhm.
which by the way is a horrible name if you're an American fan, and a very cool sounding
Oh,
name if
yeah.
you're a Japanese fan.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Let's catch up with the chat a little
yeah. So, are
bit.
there questions?
Let's see. Peacemaker 2448 asks, so odds on an upgrade for the team. I'd
That's an
say
interesting
low.
question. Low, I would say low. Low for two reasons. Sentai usually does 1 year on, 1 year off with the upgrades.
Mhm.
Kira Major had a team upgrade. Usually,
Mhm.
and we haven't had a team upgrade in a while, but usually it's 1 year power up, 1 year no power up.
Mhm.
Um, so I would say no, but at the same time, Ryu Soldier also had a power up, so I think that pattern maybe is kind of out the window at this point.
Sure.
I think it would be tough for them to give the robots upgrades outside of giving them
Mhm.
actual ranger suits.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But at that point, I think you're sort of divorcing from the thing that they're going with. That even though they're robots, it doesn't mean they're not a Super Sentai. I think when if you
Yeah.
make them regular rangers, you're kind of disagreeing with that
Invalidating.
point,
Yeah.
right? My thought is probably no power up, but what I would see is instead of power ups, I think we're going to get a Zord Zoo. I think we're going to get like a silly amount of mecha. That's my thought. Um, so maybe instead of power ups, maybe weapons
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
that kind of thing in mecha form. Like uh, we could see like weapons based on different Super Sentai robots. I think because we
Mhm.
got Daizujin, it would tell me that we're not getting any more Tyrannosaurus mecha down the line.
Mhm.
Um, so I could see maybe they give him a drill like to represent Abba Ranger. Will be his
Okay.
personal
Yeah.
weapon. Something like that, like playing off of that. So there won't be an Abba Ranger mecha, but maybe the Daizujin mecha will have an Abba Ranger weapon.
Sure. I
Could be
like
something
that.
they could do.
Yeah.
Zenkaiger looks like he already is a ranger with a power up. So
He
it
does.
would be weird. It'd be weird. It's like Horobi in 01,
Mhm.
where he did eventually get a power up, but he looked as a base form to already be stronger than everybody else. So
Right.
Zenkaiger looks like he's fairly powerful already. I don't know what you would add to that suit where it would be like that. There's a lot going on with that suit as it is. I don't know that
Yeah.
you would be able to add anything. Maybe give him a different set of powers as possible.
That's
Uh,
I mean, that's what I really, am looking forward to seeing. Because if they are combining, or if the Gatlinger is able to register maybe 2 at once, it would be
yep,
cool to see just a form change on a Common Rider scale rather than
yep,
a
right,
Sentai scale.
right. Because I mean, you could definitely like easily you could change his uh, visor and you could
Mhm.
change his color scheme, and it would represent two other different Sentai very easily.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably easy to do. With the robots, I would just rather them release more mecha.
Yeah.
Give me like one robot, like one Gata robot at least every quarter. I think that's what I want this year. If not more than that, I think they could really push. They could definitely push the envelope because I think they're selling stuff that new fans are going to want because I think these characters are primed to like pull kids in. But at the
Mhm.
same time, if you're if you're a Jew Ranger fan and you see that there's a new mecha that's based on Daizujin, you might be wanting to buy that mecha. And then once you have
Yeah.
that mecha down the line, when they can, combine into big, bigger and bigger mecha, you might be tempted to buy those bigger and bigger mecha to continue
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trend. But it's a very interesting question because we're not. This is the first time we're dealing with something like this, where
Yeah.
one guy has a ranger suit and the rest have robot armor. Basically, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
We have another question from Alt Zero Star Zero who asks, "Is the thing about Sentai being in decline true?"
Okay, so this is a complicated answer, but I want to put it on the record. So yes, Sentai sales are down.
Yeah.
Uh, but what people kind of overlook is the importance of Power Rangers in those
Mhm.
numbers. Once Power Rangers went to Hasbro, Sentai took a big, big loss
Yeah.
because you're no longer getting money from both Bandai America and Bandai Japan. You're
Mhm.
getting a very small, basically what you would consider a licensing royalty
Mhm.
um, from Hasbro to Toei. And that's a big loss. That's a big chunk.
Yeah.
Also, you're dealing with a very uh, bad situation in Japan with population decline. So every year, basically, the number of young Japanese people goes down exponentially, right? And the less people are having kids, the less fans there are to watch the shows and want to buy toys.
Sure.
So Kamen Rider does really well, even though I think this year it's not doing as great as they wanted to, for many reasons, which I won't go into right now. But Kamen Rider always makes the money, right?
Yeah.
I think that's because it can sell to more people, right? People will buy Kamen Rider toys even if they're adults, and they're not going to really be too ashamed by it. Right? Like the belts, they work as
Yeah.
cosplay items. They, people have a certain respect for Kamen Rider that they don't have for Super Sentai, right?
Sure.
Super Sentai is very much upfront about being a kid show. Kamen Rider isn't really a kid show. It's for kids. The toys are for kids, but there's a lot of older audience built in, at least in
Sure.
recent years. So you can't really compare Sentai sales to Kamen Rider sales. Sentai and Ultraman actually have very similar sales usually. Ultraman recently has been beating Super Sentai. And I think that's because Ultraman's better at gimmicks than Super Sentai has been. And probably the reason we're getting Sentai gears this year is because the Ultra Metals have been doing so crazy good. That would be my thing. So yeah, the sales are declining, but we don't have any factual evidence of what that means for Super Sentai. Like I don't think Sentai is in any danger because Toei doesn't have a lot of IPs that it owns itself, right? And this in this day and age, IP is like your bank, right? You want to have
Sure.
as many IPs under your company as you can. All of Sentai Toei's IPs, even Kamen Rider, kind of belong to somebody else, right? So Toei owns Kamen Rider, Bandai owns Kamen Rider, but it's also Ishimori Pro owns Kamen Rider,
Oh, okay.
right? Like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's an Ishimori property. So is Sentai, but to a much lower degree. Um,
Sure.
Ishimori Pro doesn't really have any input with Sentai. They do with Rider. They usually have to run things by them before they make a show, right?
Sure.
There's some production red tape they have to go through. Anything else that they have is partially owned by somebody else. Super Sentai is the one show that Toei is allowed to really just do whatever they want on, even if they
Sure.
have to answer to Bandai. So from what we know from interviews, Kira Major was a mostly Toei direction, right? They downplayed the toys. They didn't have the robots combined. They wanted to take a different tact. This
Sure.
is going to probably be something that Bandai is in control of. So I expect we're going to see a boost in toy sales. I don't know how much, but I think just by playing into the anniversary angle and making it easy to collect toy, you're going to see the sales get better. I don't know what that translates into. Like right now, we're hovering at 5 billion yen for Kira Major if the projections are right. If we get back to 7 billion yen, somewhere around there, I think we're not getting we're gonna have Sentai for a long time. It's just a matter of what it
Okay.
looks like after this year.
And like I will say it toys it helps out your toy sales if you actually sell more toys and
Well,
just baseline those numbers.
if you
These
have
will be
toys to
more.
sell, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
look, if you look at the Kira Major line, it's not a lot of toys.
Yeah, yeah.
If we're getting gears and gotcha toys and candy toys that people have to go get, and there's going to be robots every quarter that they have to go get, and the robots all combine, you're going to see an uptick in sales, definitely.
Yeah. Let's just do you want to do maybe like two more questions and then call it?
Two more, yeah. Yeah, all good.
All right. Let's see here. Oh. Odds the sixth has Zenkaiger as the basis.
Uh, uh, I'd say there's a fair chance of that.
Yeah,
Why
I
not,
mean,
right? I mean, here's the thing though. It's tough because Gokaiger, while they are pirates, right? That's their motif. The whole thing about Gokaiger is changing into different Super Sentai, right? Uh,
yeah.
that's not really different from the motif that the core 5 are going to have if they have different Super Sentai powers.
Sure.
So they could make the 6th pirate, right? But that's not going to really do anything for the theming of the show, in my opinion,
Sure.
because Gokaiger has one mecha that is pirate like. The rest are based on older Super Sentai.
Yeah.
I have a feeling the Sixth Ranger is going to be Japanese themed,
Oh,
and
okay.
why I say that is because it would knock out a couple of shows
Mm-hmm.
that they would be able to like combine uh, references to. So you'd have Ninja, Shinkenger, Kakuranger, Hurricaneger, right? And maybe you
Mm-hmm.
could throw in Battle Fever J, because the main guy
Sure.
is Battle Japan.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
work it. But if you can throw all those together, then you have less Super Sentai to get through in your
Yeah.
Mecha zoo that you're making. That would be my thing. Also, there is a green line on Zenkaiser. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of play with why there's a green line there. If he's a combination of Aqua Ranger and Big One, then Big One has the Jacker colors on him, which does have a green, but
Mm-hmm.
Zenkaiser does have a yellow line as well. So is Zenkaiser representing full color, his team's full color palette, or are they representing Go Ranger and Jacker's colors together? Um, I have a feeling that there's going to be the next robot that we get, auxiliary mecha, what have you, is going to be green. I don't think that
Yeah.
will be the Sixth Ranger. I think we're just going to get a green mecha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's possible to get a Gokaiger as a sixth. I think we're going to get probably something that has a lot more seasons it can pull from than Gokaiger.
Sure, sure. I mean, I would be down for something ninja-esque, not necessarily Japan in general, but like
Yeah,
something that looked like Ninjor a little bit, and then
yeah.
just translate that into a mech.
I mean, he
Because
would
he
fit
already
in
kind
really well. Yeah, he would fit really well in with this group too.
of. Mm-hmm.
Um, that's there's a lot of possibilities. I expect a lot of really cool deep cut references this season.
Yeah. All right. We have. You know what? We'll do two more because they're coming from the same person. Heroic
Okay.
Gangster asking, "Do you think they'll make big action a priority? I hope it looks
Do you think
baller
they'll make
with
big
Red
action a
Cinder."
priority? I love it. So, I mean, I always hope that the cinematography is on point.
Yeah.
Loop Hat had a lot of great cinematography. Uh,
Mm.
Q Ranger did a little bit of it too. Q Major has had outstanding cinematography, in my opinion. Uh, so I hope that it keeps up. I think the tough thing for this team is going to be choreography, right?
Yeah.
Because even though in this new shot the suits are a little bit thinner than they looked in the poster, you're still dealing with Sentai robot suits. You have to go
Sure.
slower with that motion. So what does that mean? That means that you have to slow down what the villains are doing too.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to give Zenkaiser all the high speed battle. If there's a human villain or villainess, they'd have to pretty much fight Zenkaiser or maybe Majin. I don't see them fighting against these guys and it being a fair fight.
Mm-hmm.
And also I don't see it working as far as the cinematography goes. Then again, you have things like CGI. They've shown that they're not really ashamed of using CGI, even if it looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of part of what Toei does. So if they do CGI, then it really doesn't matter because you can have these suits moving and fighting at any speed that you want. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to do that. I would just rather them lay into the fact that hey, they're robots. They move differently than humans. Maybe the minions of the bad guys are also going to be robots, or just slow moving monsters, and it'll work out. But I agree. I want you. Of course, you want good cinematography. We have
Yeah.
to watch this for a year. I want to be
Yeah. I
entertained.
want it to be pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
And then his next question, which will be our last question, do you think it's just a coincidence that Ultraman Z had a mecha focus? Was Zenkaiger being mech leaning?
No, I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's directly related to it, but I don't think it's a coincidence because Bandai does both those things.
Yeah.
Uh, by all, my belief is that Bandai is in control of Zenkaiger being our Sentai this year, because it's putting the robots at the forefront.
Yeah.
It's basically showing off the robot toys for a full 25 minutes instead of 5 minutes. So I think that's definitely possible. Also, we recently had Taguchi, who's the director from Ultraman Z and a few other Ultraman shows, direct Kira
Yeah.
Major for two really unbelievable episodes.
Absolutely.
Now, again, in the director spot, unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure it says on Toy website, just like with the writers, I think it says for the director, and it does. It says this usual Sentai director. I would not be surprised in the least if Taguchi comes in and directs a couple episodes for the show because it's very much what he does. It's characters that fight on the ground and then grow and fight big size.
Yeah.
I would be amazed if Koichi doesn't return for this.
Absolutely.
It'd be weird if he didn't. He
Yeah.
just did a really good episode of Saber, which is impressive. I'm not a big fan of Saber, so for me to enjoy the episode, it was really good. Like when he's on there, it just gets better. Just him being the director makes the episode better. So he's going to be on there. These two are actually directed by Tasaki Ryuda, who is known to Power Ranger fans as the director of Wild Force, the director of Time Force, I believe.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Hey, man. It's not. Listen, I think the Saber designs are beautiful. I think the show does not do them the love that they deserve. I think
like
it's
everything.
kind of
It
looks so good.
Yeah, the designs, the lore, everything around it, but the story, even the actors, sometimes the direction and stuff, all great. But then they really whipped it on the story.
It just doesn't work. And then, I mean, you can point. I don't want to get too off topic, but it does actually relate into Zenkaiger because people have been saying, "Is this because of COVID that we're getting 4 robots and 1 ranger?" Here's the thing: it's not because of COVID, because suit actors are still people, and people get sick, even though they're suit actors and they're covered head to toe. Wear protective masks underneath that mask. It becomes worse for them. They can't the rules don't go out the window because you're in a suit, right?
Yeah.
You still have to, you have to observe social distancing. There has to be very careful, limited fighting contact. So does that add to why Sabers feels off? Possibly, but Kira Major is under the same rules and conditions, and it's made by the same studio, and they're not having those same issues. So I don't think we can blame that on COVID. I don't think this is a COVID thing. I think this is we need to sell toys.
Yeah,
an easy way to do that is to show that the robots are characters that you can kind of root for and fall in love with and want to buy. So that's what I think of that.
I would definitely say it's more of like a character decision because in the last few years, like with Resoldier and Kira Major, we've had the mecha, or at least some of them, all talk and like interact with them. And this basically just cuts down on how many voice actors you need to get because your mecha are the people already, and you don't need to pay as many, people for actual acting.
It makes sense to me. Just a gradual thing. Now, the weird thing is, where do you go from here, right?
Yeah.
So, if Zenkaiger's a success, what do you do for the next year? You have to. You can't do a team of robots again, right? You have to go back to a team of humans. But what do you bring from this year? Do you maybe not have traditional Sentai suits at all? Do you
Sure.
maybe go the Q Ranger route of every suit is its own thing? Is that the future right now? Because Q Ranger wasn't a success, but it also wasn't a failure, right? I think if Q Ranger would have been more of a success, we would have had original suits for each Ranger going
Yeah.
forward. So if this works, I think maybe that's where we're headed. And that's why we're seeing things like action figures again, because
Sure.
you can't really sell action figures if all the suits look the same.
That's, you know what? That's fair.
Right?
It does show like a reliance on, or at least a showing some sort of faith in that concept.
Yep. Yep. So I mean, I'm excited for the toy line prospects. I'm excited for what this could mean for Sentai going forward. If people haven't been tracking, this does actually still follow the number theory. And if you're not privy to the number theory, it's that Sentai is counting down to one, whereas Rider counts up from one.
Oh,
So we just had 0-1, and we
yeah.
had 0-2, right? The two riders in 0-1, which references back to the original Kamen Rider who has number 1, number 2 in the first season.
Yeah,
Saber transforms with 3 books, right? He's got the 3. He's symbolizing number 3. Super Sentai is going down. So you start with Ju-Oger. Ju is 10 in Japanese.
Okay.
You go to Q Ranger, which is 9. Q is
Yeah.
9 in Japanese. Lupat is a little bit trickier. You kind of have to force it, but Pa, the Japanese character Pa, is present in both Lupin and Pato Ranger.
Sure.
So they both have Pa would be like 8 Ha. So you're going 10, 9, 8. Then it gets really, really like you have to kind of force it. But Ryu Soldier has a 7 in the logo.
Sure. Okay.
Kira Major has a 6 in the logo. And Zenkaiger very obviously has a 5 in the logo. So theoretically, if people who are worried about Sentai being canceled, I think there's a very definitive plan to get to 50 seasons. After that, who knows? But I think we're basically locked in for the next 5 years. Because it'd be very weird to me to count to 5 and then not finish counting to 1.
Okay.
It would be odd.
Yeah.
But that's where we are. So things to look forward to. Tomorrow likely is going to be magazine scan leaks. Just a word to the community: please be careful when you're posting things that are leaks. Don't at the producer of the show and show him the leaks, because then things get taken away from us. Don't be respectful when you're talking to people from the show. Understand that leaks are a big deal in Japan. It's an embarrassing thing. It's not something that they want to deal with. People can get fired for them. There's a very big law coming to Japan. Exactly. I wanted to get 50 because it is a milestone. There's a law coming next year, and I think next month, where people can be prosecuted for sharing magazines and periodicals and books in Japan. So if you see scans and leaks, there are journalistic rules that we have in America where you can show those scans, and I think you're free from any liability. But just remember that you're sharing stuff that isn't supposed to be out yet, and be mindful of who you're sharing it to. So we have those tomorrow, likely. If not tomorrow, then it would be before Christmas Eve. We have the press conference now confirmed for the 15th, so that's exciting. That's not too far away. And we have actually the second quarter toy list will be out the first week of February. So yeah, that goes quickly now that Sentai is in March, not February. And then it'll be our second quarter toys. So if Zenkaiser's getting a mecha that unites the four, it'll probably be out then. Maybe like a May release. We'll probably get a look at whatever a Sixth Ranger is. Maybe a few more mecha toys, maybe some deluxe gear sets if they're going to include them. That's where we are right now. But that's all I have, I think.
Yeah. Well, all right. So Matt, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm sorry for rambling.
No, it's fine, because like I need to absorb this information just so I have a good baseline for when I do these videos. Just make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for like also covering this on Twitter as extensively as you have.
For sure. I mean, it's what I do. It keeps me sane, especially now. It's we live in such a weird world.
Yeah.
Having Super Sentai to ground me is actually very necessary.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah. But also, guys, thank you for watching. If you like the episode, do all the standard YouTube things. Also,
Like, share, subscribe.
yes, all those. Just as this stream went up, I posted or I made live my new Zenkaiger merch.
Yay!
I designed these all like within the last 24 hours, and I'm kind
That
of
looks
proud
awesome.
of how
Is that a Zenkaiger mask?
That is a Zenkaiger mask. You can't
killing me, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm saving you because it is a mask.
This is true. Wear your masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are awesome. So what do we got? We got t-shirts,
yes,
stickers, and a mask, right?
T-shirts, stickers, masks, and basically anything that TeePublic carries.
Okay.
I'm sending out the link right now into the chat. You can pick some of these up for yourself, and since I made them live today, they are on discount. So stickers are like $2, shirts are like, I want to say 13, 14. So yeah, makes a good gift.
Seems like a good thing to put on your carrying case of Sentai gears that you can buy later this year.
Hell yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is available to you if you would like any of that. Yeah, buy them quick before Toei sends a cease and desist.
He jokes, but it's true. Please buy quickly.
Yeah. Is that a thing that happens to people? Because
no. So here's the thing: Toei actually is pretty good about not doing that kind of stuff. But now that Hasbro owns Power Rangers, so you know how like Toei put up Super Sentai on their YouTube and then like DC themselves?
Yeah,
that was basically Hasbro saying you can't do that because we own Power Rangers. It's very, very tricky right now, which is that whole thing of like Toei and Hasbro kind of shaking hands and going their own separate ways makes a lot of sense because Toei can't do a lot of stuff and Hasbro can't do a lot of stuff because the rights to Power Rangers are so weird. So yeah, I don't think you probably won't have an issue with Toei, but they're also getting better at using technology and computers in that company. So like that's why leaks have kind of gone less in recent years and that kind of thing. I would just everyone be respectful. Don't at Toei that Frozen Stratos is selling Zenkaiger merch. Like, don't do that. Just buy, support the channel. Let's all be gentlemanly here.
Matt,
that's awesome, dude.
Saying, if there's homework due, don't let the teacher know if they've forgotten already.
Exactly. So, why start something?
Exactly. But all right. Thanks everybody. Thank you once again, Matt. This was a fun time. I hope we can do this again soon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they're gonna keep killing us with little information drops, so definitely.
Yeah, if they do, definitely gonna have you on again. Because I need, just a wholesale top to bottom catch up.
If we can do it, I mean, I don't know my plans on this, but I'm gonna try and live stream my reaction to the first episode.
All right, yeah.
Definitely. My YouTube skills are very not there. Not that I'm going to be streaming the first episode, Toei Spies that follow me, but I'm gonna try and stream my reaction to the first episode. I tried to do it once during Q Ranger, and the technology wasn't there.
Sure.
But now we're in 2020, year of weirdness. So yeah, those are my plans. So definitely, anytime that I can be of assistance, I am fairly available.
Awesome. And also, just in general on this channel. If you like the idea of live streams and watching it along with Matt, we also do watch alongs here every Monday-ish and reviews every Tuesday-ish, just so we can comment on what you guys are talking about from the watch alongs. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Thanks again, Matt. I'll have your YouTube linked in the description. Hopefully, I'll update
Perfect.
that. And then
One last thing before we go. Someone just tweeted at me. Ben7787. Everybody knows who he is. He posts Twitter updates in Japanese. He
sure.
tweeted at me the close-up look at the Sentai gears. The gears for the core team are not Red Rangers. They are, in fact, their robot selves.
Do you have?
Do
you have that?
I will retweet it on my Twitter.
All right.
And I'll link you right now.
All right. Cool. Thank you so much.
So we can put it up just so that everybody can see. I will tell you the gears are really good looking. They remind me of they look like O metals, but the art is really cool. Here, check it out.
Oh my god! Oh, okay. I'm seeing these now. Oh, that's so good. Here, I'm sorry
Those
to
are really cool.
chat when it's not even up on screen yet, but I'll get you them. I'll get them to you real quick. Second. So we got these because it was easier to see.
Yeah, on the poster.
These are in HD now. Okay, I appreciate.
So here's my thought. Somebody told me that it's not the Red Rangers. My thought is it's probably double-sided.
Sure.
So because the toy leaker, whose information has been 100% correct, said it was the Red Ranger or the leader, I guess, on the front,
sure.
but the robot on the back. So my guess is if you flip Reds around, it's Tyranno Ranger, and vice versa. And they transform with the robot side, and he transforms with the Ranger side. Would be my guess, which is pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. All right,
which means that the Zenkaiger mecha probably is on the back of his, and that'll be interesting to see when the toy comes out what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that art is really cool.
On top of that, like when any other Sentai gets added to the line, you have like artwork potential for what it may or may not look like if it's in the show or not.
You know, it'd be really interesting. Like you mentioned that, even if we don't get toys for all of them, what if it's like when Kamen Rider has the bonus forms that only show up in the arcade games?
Okay.
Maybe some of these will be like recolors of designs that we already have. But I don't know. Saying that now, if they showed me something in the show that even if they didn't use it a lot on the show, if they were like, "Hey, there's a live band one of these," and then they didn't make it available for me to buy, I might become angry. So, but they look awesome. The art is fantastic.
Yeah, I love this. It's like, man, the dramatic, harsh shadows.
Yeah,
I
see blues. It almost looks like it could be Daiboken, but when you look at it's definitely him, because if you look at Juran's reds, it's not Daizushin. It's very much the new costume.
Yeah. I like that.
Cool
so that must have been like if someone was the person who had these rumors initially, maybe they thought it was the mecha on the back, but actually it was these.
That's possible, because remember those toy list leaks, right? They're coming from people who were at the toy meeting. They're not necessarily people who are Sentai fans. They're wholesalers, right? So if you're not a Sentai fan and you look at the back of that, you're going to say, it's a Sentai robot, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to say you're not going to necessarily know. But I think there's probably a backside and front side to the medals. So maybe it's still the case. But we'll see. Actually, no, you can see right there. If you could put Zenkaiger's on the screen.
Yeah.
Right? The edges of the gear are there, and if you flip to another one, it's the backside of the medal. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because there are like the holes here.
Yep. So
Yeah,
that's
I
what
see.
it is. The rain.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I
wow.
kind of need them now.
Huh.
Hang on, let me quote this. Yeah, those look really cool. I want to know if it's the same artist that is responsible for the Ryu Soja and Kira Major designs. It looks like it is. He's new, so basically post Lupat, they've changed the design team for the robot toys, which is why there's a drastic change between Lupat and Ryu Soja.
Okay.
Man, they look so good.
They do. Yeah, I'm into this.
Yeah, I would say on the
But will we get Pogs to go with these slammers?
you know see this is called tempting Bandai, is what
Yeah.
Chris is doing, because when the power up that is in fact like a Pog launcher shows up and it's like 8,000 yen, I'm gonna blame him.
Yeah, it's your fault, Chris.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
No, so what I'm curious about is
Mhm.
if we flip to the backside, is
Yeah.
the backside also colored the color meter, or
Yeah.
is it colored the Zenkaiger color, right? So like
I
for Gowon, is it yellow on the back and then red on the front? Or
I
is it
wonder if
a yellow version of Gao Red?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Or it
That's what
could
I'm
just
curious
be
about.
like one silver color and then just leave it at that. Or gold.
Right.
Okay. I think that's it.
We've hit it pretty thoroughly, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, if everybody wants to pay attention, stand by my Twitter at like 3 a.m. Tonight if you're not doing anything. Uh, as soon as I get those scans, I
Yeah.
will post them. Again, I asked you to please not share them with Toei officials because it's not
Yeah.
smart.
It's rude.
Stop getting people fired is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
mean this has been really fun.
and also that will be 3 a.m. Eastern and 12
Eastern
p.m.
Standard Time.
12
Yeah.
a.m. Pacific. Yeah.
So
So
if you're on the West Coast, it's actually not too much of a struggle for you.
yeah.
Usually that's when those pictures drop. If they're not out by 8 a.m., 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's
Mhm.
safe to assume they're not going to be out until around Wednesday. It depends on
Wow.
when
So
the magazines ship in.
what you're telling me is I have to wait between midnight and 5 a.m. to figure out, oh, should I go to sleep or do I need to do like a really quick news
There you
video?
go.
Oh my
I
god. Okay.
know, because the thing is, the leak scans come out because the distributors of the magazines
Right.
deliver the books before their street date. So some
Right.
store owners don't listen to the street date; just put the magazines out when they get them, like here in America, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Same thing. The issue is, depending on the release date of the magazine, the street date, they either get it like later or in the middle of the week. So
Mhm.
it sometimes they're out on the Sunday, Monday in Japan, and then sometimes they don't get there until right before the street date. It just depends. So I apologize, but I will not sleep. I can promise you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we have an opportunity here to end it exactly at 2 hours, and I'm gonna try
Let's do
my
it. I
best.
don't mind.
Okay, here we go. We
Let's
have
do it.
30 seconds, guys. Let's see. Let's make this
So
work.
again, reminder, if you like what you see so far, I would go. You can check the Ranger Board thread on Zenkaiger. I have linked to Collectibles. He does great pre-order service. You can basically put things on layaway. You pay a little bit. You don't have to pay the full amount until the toys ship to you. It's great. I would go that route just because if the quantities really are limited, get it.
No, it's fine. I didn't want to interrupt.
We missed it.
We're already,
No, we missed it.
already
You should have.
Yeah.
You should have just cut.
No, it's
it would
fine.
have been perfect.
It's fine, man.
Perfect. Oh no, but
All
just do yourself a favor. Get these toys if they even look a little bit appealing to you. You can always, sell them later on. I guess if that's what you wish to do.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you guys
Peace
next
out.
time.
Have a good one.